You know, of all the people I wanted to come back, Adonis was not on that list. Thank you to our $5 patrons, Sinis Lancelot, Art Goon, and the Divine Anpu. And big thank you to our $25 patron, the Mr. Greed. Now, before I have this breakdown / review of chapter 61 of Record of Ragnarok, please do me a favor, leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Any support would be appreciated. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to break down chapter 61 of Record of Ragnarok, which is known as the Pride of the King of the Dead. And I guess it's kind of aptly, but notably the thing is, right, we spend a good chunk of this chapter kind of far away from the Pride of the King of the Dead. Like, we get what, 1, 2, like 6 or so pages based around the Pride of the King of the Dead. We spend a lot of time away from it, essentially. However, enough of that. Let's hop into the chapter itself. So we open up, and we get to see not the fight we left off with, but a room that we've seen before. A room of a certain Buggy Boy. And within this room, you actually get to recognize some of the things, even though they are a bit larger than we last saw them. Like the thing that went into, I don't know why Zero's name escaped me that quickly, Zero Fuku's head, it's there, but it's much bigger. I wonder if that's a byproduct of I don't know, being in the tube for so long, or they're like larger deities that Buggy Boy was planning to insert something into. I don't really know. And we see that in the background, the fight is playing. We're seeing Hades and Huang. However, it's in the middle of the fight we saw last chapter, when Hades lunged in. And notably, we see that Buggy Boy is sitting in front of a specific container in this library of his, and it's this gigantic, weird, almost sand like, well, not sand, it reminds me of Clayface from Batman, if you will, just a lot sharper. And we see Buggy Boy is watching it expectantly, right? Like, well, not expectantly, but he has this look on his face, he's observing it, and he's dead quiet. And suddenly this thing that is sitting inside the tube, it doesn't have eyes, and then it suddenly has eyes and looks down upon Buggy Boy, and then instantly slams its way out of the container. It bangs its weird claw things up against the wall. It shatters the glass. It tears through. It roars out. And it is this amazing big old spectacle. And notably, there's no water. For some reason, I expected it to be floating in water, but maybe this is just like an empty glass container. And it tears free, and it's roaring out. And admittedly, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting, because like it roars out, it breaks free the container with no mouth, and then the top part of it like tears itself apart, and then there's a mouth which screams out, and it really is disgusting, and it really reminds me of Clayface. However, the crazy thing is, Buggy Boy is just sitting there unfazed. Like, legitimately none of this bothers him, none of this is surprising. And we see that the creature is like consistently evolving. Like, it grew eyes, it grew a mouth, and then out of its back grows all these different spikes and weapons, and then suddenly it does something familiar. Its arm hardens and becomes a blade, and it swings for Buggy Boy. However, notably, I'm not sure if this is a display of speed or a display of something else, but as the blade that the creature swings, that reminds me of a certain someone, goes to make contact, we see this like white slash, and in that same moment, the arm is cut off. And Buggy Boy immediately critiques, like, how unbearably fragile. Another failure are you. And notably, the creature, in an act of self-preservation, runs. And notably, the creature that I'm alluding to that this reminds me of is Hajun. This seems to be a very similar situation to what Hajun was in, where it could like morph its body and transform into different things. However, while Hajun had to sort of like squeeze body parts into certain shapes, this thing kind of just does this on its own. However, I'm assuming the reason it's so malformed and, as Buggy Boy calls it, fragile, is mainly because it doesn't have a seed host. I don't think this creature was initially some other deity that transformed into this. It wasn't good soil, as it was coined back in the Hajun and Buddha fight. It just seemed to be this own random creature grown in a tube. And thusly, when it fails to do anything to Buggy Boy, it gets sliced apart. it runs off. It has no fear or need of dominance like previously. Like Hajun had to prove itself to be dominant. It would run away. Meanwhile, this thing ran away. Can't cut my arm off. And then ran. And notably, it doesn't get too far because the door opens and a man in a hood walks up and grabs the creature by the face. Like literally whole hard forefinger clumps its face open. Well, not clumps its face open, but it clamps down on its face, and it's like, this thing in the suit, or maybe not a suit, maybe the thing in the hood goes on to say, "Don't even try. Don't you know?" Well, I'm not sure what kind of voice. Maybe they'll have a filter on the voice actor's voice in the anime. I wonder how they're going to voice this one, because I'm assuming it wouldn't just be the regular voice, considering it seems to be coming out of some sort of speaker of sorts. But essentially, and this is very interesting too to note, right? Like this guy in this hood is strong enough to hold off this creature that is probably a Hajun knockoff and just casually grab it and even hold it in place. Like it's not moving anymore, and it doesn't look like it's fighting moving either. But this creature, which we see, it gets revealed to have this weird like bug-like face and this robotic appearance. It slams the creature into the ground and declares that there are many dangerous people out there. And notably, the creature, upon being what assumedly is perfectly destroyed or killed in a sense, it just starts turning into steam and smoke. And who knows? Very, very interesting. And the guy, well, I'm going, you know who it is. But the person in the suit is like, "Oh, come on now. You made these nasty things again. What are you even up to, Buggy Man?" And Buggy Boy is like, well, and notably, he doesn't even answer the question. He just goes on to say, "It looks like there are no problems with your body, Adamas." And see, like, I'm not sure if this is, I think this is worse. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I would have preferred if he was just dead. Like, I get it. Author, I know you love your fanfiction character. I'm kidding. Like, it's Greek mythology. Do whatever you want. Obviously, I love many manipulations and interpretations of Greek mythology, so do what you will. But, like, I feel like Adamas being alive kind of devalues Poseidon's backstory more than adds to it. Like, Poseidon really ran his brother through as an act of insubordination, and then he just ran and got a robot body. I mean, okay. That's fine, I guess, but wasn't needed. I don't know. Are people excited to see it? Question from people in the comments down below. Are y'all excited to see Adamas? Was this hype for y'all to see this man pop out? Like, notably, like, it could have been anyone else. I'm not gonna lie. It could have been anyone, and I feel like I would have been more excited. But Adamas, I mean, it's all right. It's cool. I like the design. It's a lot. It is a very packed design. Like, notably, you see all the different wires coming out. Like, I know, I said this once and I'll say it again, but the Record of Ragnarok manga is not built for an anime unless that anime is being done by, like, UFO Table, Madhouse. Like, you need some wild demons behind this to try and animate this, because, like, this design is a nightmare. And this is coming from a person who doesn't even do animation, but once again understands it. Looking at this design, I cannot feasibly see a way this. I would understand why you would make this design a slideshow. Do you know how many different intricate moving parts you'd have to animate individually? You have all the different spines coming out of his head. You have all the different strands of hair. You have the cape that needs flowing motion behind it. You have all the vines and wires that are individually drawn. You have the chest plate that's split down the middle. You have all these different bottles and gears and things on it. You have all the different whirring features of the fingers. Like, this is monstrous. I don't even, like, once again, I fear things. As a sketch artist, even I come across things that I fear. And one of the things that I fear is this design. Like, I don't even want to imagine drawing this. That's why I went with a more, like, simplified mass cover design for the most part. And then I did a side thing just ahead, because golly gee willikers, this body's a whole lot. And notably, we see that the only thing that truly remains from the original Adamas is the head, I'm assuming. I don't think, like, we saw Hades' muscle fibers, but I don't think all of these wires and pipes and all this stuff like that, I don't think that's Adamas' muscle fibers. I think, especially based off all the whirring and chirping that his hand is doing as he goes to grip it, I think this is just a robo body that happens to have Adamas' head on top of it, which is very interesting. I wonder, like, because the thing is, that backstory ends in a very strange spot. Notably, it ends with Poseidon walking away and telling Hermes to go report what happened. So did Hermes, in like out of, I don't know, maybe love for his uncle, was like, hey uncle, you know the like button is free, and also the subscribe button is free, and that guy with the pencil would greatly appreciate if you helped out by hitting those buttons. I'm kidding, but well, I'm not kidding, uncle. Please get back up off the ground, you bloody mess. But in actuality, I guess Hermes just picked up Adamas and was like, "Don't worry, uncle, I'll save you," and then carried him off. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, and it's only like, how did he live? I guess. But then again, like, Herc died pretty simply. Like, he got his torso ripped open, and bada bing, bada boom. I know that sounds weird for saying he died pretty simply when he got his torso ripped open. But in the same vein, like, Adamas looks to be just the head. How did he survive? Maybe Buggy Boy like literally revived his conscious or something through this machine. That's pretty impressive. And I also wonder, like, why did Buggy Boy do this? Is this like the possible thing that he alludes to later on in the chapter? Like, this seems like a very altruistic motive for someone we know to, at least in history, to not be the most trustworthy individual. Like, what was the cost? What is the price for this body? Like, there had to be something given up. I'm assuming at any moment, if Buggy Boy wanted to, he could very easily shut down this body. And like, Adamas may end up being a servant for him of some sort, or maybe even a puppet fighter. Like, notably, especially based off what happens in this chapter, I believe that, once again, this is referencing Mysterious Weep's video on the data book for Ragnarok that I believe came out. Buggy Boy was described as the assassin of the gods, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's what his point was. And notably, it's weird, right? He has multiple things to him. He is possibly an assassin of the deities, which is one thing. Then he's also a content creator, because he's creating like these suits. He's creating life itself. He's a manipulator of insane degree. Like, I'm not sure how far in the past Buddha's flashback was alongside Zerofuku, but he's been around since those times and messing with deities since there. That was a very, very, very long awaited contingency plan that just happened to happen. And all of this, and he also wants to die. Like there's so many things behind Buggy Boy that I'm very intrigued to see where he goes. He's been, I'd say, what, because we got introduced to him actually pretty early Hajun fight, so maybe not. Actually, no, this is mid to early Hajun fight, or Zero versus Buddha fight, and then build up. Because let's see, Buddha and his old side plot kind of got introduced right around the start of the Shiva fight, so maybe he's not as built up, but like he's around the same league of build up as Buddha was. Like their whole conflict, like the whole idea, we're getting a whole ton of context essentially for Buggy Boy before we ever get to see him fight. Like the only person who's arguably being built up even more is Soji Okita. He's the only like human that's been around that's slated to fight that we've seen for such a long period before he actually gets to his battle, and Buggy Boy is trying to take that spot too. But I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see Buggy Boy's future, and also I'm intrigued to see if he wins or gets his wish. But notably, before we get to the whole idea of that wish, we see that upon being asked how the body's doing, Adamas responds that the body's doing just fine. There are no problems with his flesh and blood movement. He's able to operate normally. And we see, and I wonder if this may be a mistranslation thing. I'm not sure if, like, I'm not sure. Because notably, Buggy Boy goes on to say, that's good. If something happened to that body, I would be angry with Hades. I'm assuming the proper phrasing of that Hades would be angry with me. Because that's the thing, right? Maybe at the end of that Poseidon flashback, Hermes went and told, and then Hades, in a shock, was like, Poseidon, love you, bro. Why'd you do that to your own sibling? And proceed to run off, go get the corpse, and be like, hey, slam the corpse down in front of Buggy Boy, and was like, fix this now or I kill you. Like, legitimately, I think that's what's happening here. Because I don't get why Buggy Boy would be angry with Hades if his own creation, unless Hades provided like the materials. I don't know. I think that was just a mistranslation thing where it's supposed to be Hades would be angry with him, because even then Adamas has a reaction that's like, I don't. It's a weird line. So I'm gonna chalk that up to mistranslation stuff. But then we get to see that the demon king of the sixth heaven, Hajun, You have even created a legendary monster. What are you trying to do? And it's interesting that Adamas notes that, right? Because reasonably, Buggy Boy has done a lot. You see all the different creations in this lab. You see Hajun was entirely his fault, and obviously he made Adamas a fully functioning body. So there seems to be so many different things that Buggy Boy has his hands in on top of the possible assassin thing. So he's a very busy man, but what's the point of all this? Obviously he's a mortal deity, so he doesn't have much else to do. But at the same time, it's a good question that Adamas asks here. And Buggy Boy, maybe for the first time forever, actually tells somebody his grief. Because he goes on to say, what am I trying to do? Nothing. I just want to breed them until one of them manages to kill me. And that's a bar. I don't know. Like, this reminds me, and in fact, now that I think about it, this reminds me, and to be fair, I haven't read Fairy Tail, but cultural osmosis is a thing. All right, gosh darn it. I'm about to cultural osmosis you. So if you haven't read Fairy Tail, sucks to suck. But this guy reminds me of Zeref. Because isn't Zeref's whole thing? Zeref and Kaido, two series that are extremely popular that I haven't read in One Piece and Fairy Tail, I happen to know a decent chunk about. And isn't Zeref and Kaido's whole thing in their series like, oh, I want to die. Like, I'm so strong, I'm so broken, I'm so lonely because of my superiority to every other creature on this planet. I'm kind of just hoping something or someone can come along and give me the fight of my dreams and just off me. So kind of heat, kind of hit, kind of spitting, you know? And I think that it's an interesting motivation to always have, right? And I'm very intrigued because we know he's slated to fight too. Buggy Boy is on the docket. So whoever he fights, I believe there's a sniper of some sort. And it would be kind of cool to see Buggy Boy go up against someone who's known for raining death upon others, and he's forced to do it, and then he finally died. Like, notably, if Buggy Boy wins his fight, it's an L. It's an L for humanity and an L for Buggy Boy. So hopefully Buggy Boy gets what he wants here, because I'm assuming he'll find hope in humanity when humanity finally gets to strike him down. And notably, a thing that's interesting is and I guess that white flash on that page could be the signification that Buggy Boy just struck, and it doesn't actually mean there's something there. But I find it very interesting, very notable, if you will, that Buggy Boy seems to, it's almost like he had a barrier around him. Like, the creature couldn't get within a certain range of him with malicious intent before being attacked. Almost like an ominous nebula sort of thing, where once you get within a certain range, you're liable to be cut apart. And I wonder if that's a barrier that's protecting him, but notably, I don't know, Adamas gets pretty close but then again, it's without malicious intent. So it's possible that he has this defense mechanism, whether it be automatically through training or something of the sort, where if his life is in danger, his body will snap to keep it alive, and thusly he'll strike anything that gets within range with malicious intent. Who knows? But even Adamas is thrown off by this, like, sad, disturbed look that Buggy Boy has. And now that I look at it, Adamas has pointy ears too. Is he related? I don't know. Well, not Adamas, but Buggy Boy has pointy ears. I wonder if he's related, because notably Poseidon, Hades, and he have pointy ears. I think Adamas had pointy ears too. Zeus is the only one without them. He has rounded ears, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me double check. Rolling around at the speed of sound. The places gotta follow a rainbow. Going back to chapter 60. Let me see your ears, Zeus. I'm trying to find out. Your ears are indeed round. Come on, let's go back to 61 Town. I'm about to let you see. So take my hand and set me free. Follow me, set me free. We will escape from the sea. I'm sorry. That got the song. But we get to see that Adamas, essentially, he writes off the creepy look and is like, whatever, you're done, son. We'll leave it be. But, and this is a double world. Like, why are they, like, I don't know. I find these characters hilarious. Like, why are these two like this? Like, notably, Adamas laughs and is like, hey, as always, you're a creepy guy. You don't have any friends, do you? And in response, Buggy Boy is like, neither do you. It's like a mutual admittance that, yes, we are both indeed lonely, and we both have no friends. And in that moment, they kind of admit that they're friends of each other. Like, they're both in a very similar situation that only the other can empathize with. So, Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're friends, even if they don't want to acknowledge it. Because they even have this awkward moment of silence where they both have the double ellipses together. It's pretty funny. But then we get to see that we were continuing where we were in last fight through the screen, where it's like, even with the power of the king of the underworld, the techniques of the king of humans just remain unsurpassed. Just like the like button, if unpressed, should be pressed, along with the subscribe button. Please, I'd greatly appreciate that. Please. You know, the like button is free. Like, the like button is free. Like, it takes you 5 seconds. If you're on full screen, exit full screen real quick, hit the like button. It seriously helps out the channel a whole lot. Thank you. But also, we get back and we see that Adamas, upon looking at the screen, is like, well, aren't you going to watch the fight? You have the screen on. And Buggy Boy's like, not really. There's no reason for me to watch the fight, because Hades is going to lose. It's not necessarily that hard to predict. And that in of itself gave Hades like 5 extra hope points. Like, especially even with the dumb thing he did at the very end of this chapter, kind of ballistic that he said that. Like, the mangaka's like, yeah, don't worry, Hades is definitely gonna lose, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I didn't put all this time into Wang just to kill him off, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, I don't know. It seems very specific and very shady. I ain't rocking with the way that was worded. That kind of scares me. I'm not gonna lie. And notably, in response to such a declaration, Damas grins and is like, huh, I get it. And that's where, once again, I believe that the defense mechanisms that Buggy Boy has only activates if someone has malicious intent, because Adamas even pats Buggy Boy on the shoulder and is like, I see, you don't understand. The king of the underworld, Hades, would not lose under any circumstances, because in the end, he's our elder brother. And hold on a second. One moment. I'll be right back. Never mind. Hades was always the oldest. I thought Adamas was the oldest. I don't know why. I think I just got the idea that he was older than Zeus and Poseidon, so I thought he was older than Hades too. So never mind. Let me shut up. Take my complaint back. However, Hades, the Adamas thing, the main thing of his backstory was that, the younger should always respect the older, and since Hades is the eldest brother, he obviously has faith in the eldest. And Hades is looking upon Huang, the whole battle, with this look of like eerie distaste, right? Like, notably, he's drawn very weird there once again, but he's holding his wound and he's like, alright, bet. And notably, all the humans are cheering for him, right? They're like, you're very strong, King Shu Huang, go, go, go. And see, once again, this is only because chapter 59 hit for me that I think this moment is so good to me. But notably, we see a child screaming, go, 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 Emperor Sama. And we see that this child looks to his mom, right? He's like, he's incredible. He's very strong, Mom. And the cow gets a pat on the head. And she says, of course he is. Because after all, he is our king. That was good. I'm glad she's here. I'm really, really glad she's here. Like, it's great to see that. She got reunited with her son in the afterlife, just like she wanted. And now she stands alongside him as she watches her other son fight for the sake of humanity. That alone made this chapter a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to lie to you. That was... Okay, brought a tear to my eye first time I read. That was a ball right there. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That is even better than... Well, to be fair, that wasn't a very good moment in the first... But remember when... in the Jack and Hercules fight, the lady that was defending Jack in the crowd showed up, the drunkard. Like, she was like, that boy's just a poor sad boy. This moment where we get to see Chunyan with her son supporting her other son, declaring that he's the king. It's beautiful, dog. Yo, Huang, please don't lose, dog. Please don't lose. I can't. Like, the reunion would be too sweet. I could taste it. I could taste the drawing coming. I could literally... Please don't lose, bro. Please, I'm begging you, dog. If you lose, this will be the ultimate, most Omega L. It'll be greater than the Adam L. It will be greater than the entire Raiden L. It'll be greater than all the L's up to this. It'll be greater than the Lubu L. All of the L's humanity has experienced up to this point. This will be the fattest, thickest, juiciest, unhealthy, and disgusting L that we could possibly hold as a species. So don't lose, gosh darn it. But we get to see that Huang, he's still ready for combat. And notably, Huang is being acknowledged by Hades. Like, Hades is like, yo, King Shi Huang, allow me to acknowledge you once again. You're worthy of being a king. Therefore, as king of the underworld, I must respond accordingly. And notably, it's kind of different to the kind of statement he was saying before. Like, and I think that is cool, though. Once again, it's the kind of back and forth with Hades. Like, he at times recognizes the strength of humanity, but at other times he's still like, I am in every single way superior to you, even though I am much more heavily damaged. He's like, I will respond accordingly, king to king. I must put some respect on your title, considering it is a title I must share, and I do share, so I will respond in equal measure. And notably, we see Hades, he lunges in, he lunges back, but instead of charging forward, as Huang prepares for, he stabs himself, like right in the left peck, like right there. He stabs in, and then everyone is shocked by it. Like, even me, I was very, very confused by this. Not going to lie, when I saw it, I was like, dude. I immediately got what he was doing, but at the same time, after getting the explanation of the star system once again last chapter and seeing how much Huang has put himself through with it, like, dude, Hades, he's literally killed people. like Huang is not a pacifist. He's fought people and has probably done this level of damage, if not more, to them before. I'm assuming that same attack he did to you that you managed to block has taken people's heads off before. So, like, I get what you're doing here. Like, he stabs himself in the chest, and it's admittedly a very beautiful shot. It's a very beautiful drawing. And we see Brunhild, Gear, Sasaki, Soji Okitsa, Isami Kondo, Sasuke's weapon. I'm sorry, I forget her name. And then Hermes and Ares all being shocked at what he's doing. And in this moment, I know it's supposed to be like growling, but I just see GG. Like, Hades is literally saying GG. And notably, Huang starts clutching his own chest because he's witnessing all this. And we see Hades tears himself a new one. Quite literally, he tears a gigantic hole in his chest. And obviously, Ares asks a legitimate question, like, wait, what in the world is he doing there? This doesn't make sense. And Zeus is like, hold on. Wait a second here. You calm down, young fella. You listen to me, gosh darn it. You are mistaken. And even Zeus himself admits, I'd forgotten. I know of no other god as confident as he is. He is willing to sacrifice anything to win. This is the king of the dead, Hades. And Hades, you sacrifice your wife, bro? Like, is that why all your attacks are named after her? Where's Persephone? Like, this is the thing. Like, I need a little dibble dabble of backstory, and if that doesn't happen next chapter, I don't know when it's going to happen. This, like I said, this fight seems so far progressed. Where do we go from here? Like, he literally tore a hole open in his chest. However, to acknowledge the positives here, I love how Zeus, even though the drawing is kind of weird, I love how Zeus looks wistfully upon his brother, right? Like, he's looking on him with awe and inspiration. And I think that's very, very cool, right? Because Zeus has always been portrayed as this being kind of without equal, even within his own world, like amongst his brothers, even himself. Like, he respects Poseidon, and he said Poseidon would never lose, but he never necessarily looked to Poseidon with any awe. He was just like, yo, yeah, I know big bro's strong. Like, he just liked that, though. He liked that. He just like me. But, and he much more, it's weird to say, but he viewed Poseidon much more as an equal than he views Hades in this sense, because he views Hades as a being more confident in himself and more sure of himself than even he himself is. And he looks to him with this mysticism, right? Like, he sees Hades is an inspiration to Zeus, while Poseidon was an accomplice in the sense. Like, Hades is, in a way, the ideal deity that Poseidon always dreamed of. This perfect being that is all confident and all powerful, that even the king of all the gods, Zeus, looks up to. I think that's very, very cool. We don't get much, like, inter-character stuff in Record of Ragnarok just because of the nature of the series. You get introduced shortly before your fight. Usually you fight, you get a bit of backstory, you die, or you just become a background character. Shout out to Sasuke. So, like, these things happen, obviously, but whenever we get these little moments of, like, brothers being brothers, an older brother and a younger brother, this dynamic, like, I really, really appreciate it. And I do love how Hades, in a way, is so willing to do anything, right? Like, for a person who seems so composed, energetic, refined, like, he admittedly had a lot of mixed personality when we first met him in the last fight. I do think that's very, very cool. But seeing him being willing to tear his own chest open and then begin to sing as his own blood rains from the heavens, I think it's a very, very cool way to take the character. It's that suave confidence that is very heavily aligned with the fact that the like button is free, and so is the subscribe button. But in actuality, it's aligned with the free nature of the king. He views him, once again, it's the transcendent viewing. Only a being with, like Zeus says, that absolute purest confidence, the knowledge that no matter what happens, I will win, the knowledge of pure superiority, can one tear your own chest open, damage yourself in such a way, and yet sing to the heavens the song of your lost brother. Like, I don't know, I just think it's very, very cool. It's a way that you show confidence and certainty in a really novel and out there way, but still in a way that's so iconic. I love the way the light beams rain down along with the rain of his own blood. It's very, very cool. And as Isami Kondo questions if he's singing, we see Sasaki, the man who fought the god himself, is like, okay, I know where this song is. This song is the same as Poseidon. And I Hades, shout W respect, W brother. But in actuality, I do love how Hades, after letting the blood rain down upon him, is still singing. You get this very beautiful shot. You know, it's a thumbnail. The very beautiful shot of Hades with his arms splayed out, his cape, his like lower cape flaring in the wind, his bloody bident, and just his regal brother standing, existing above him. The idea and the ow. The idea and memory of Poseidon still lives on strong within the brother that stays behind and the brother who resembles him the most. And we see, with blood in his hand, very akin to Poseidon himself, Poseidon before him, he grabs it, splatters it on his face, and pulls his hair back. So the fight now is truly on. So, what do I think about this darn chapter? Because normally it ends right there, right? It ends with the shot of Hades pulling his hair back with the blood. And this is a very fire shot, if you will. I think it is cool. I think it is cool. However, in actuality, I think that kind of Hades kind of just did himself worse. Because, like I mentioned, Huang, he kills people, bro. Like, he's definitely seen this kind of pain before. And true, maybe not that specific slice, but these gashes are momentary experiences of pain. They don't actually, at least so far, who knows, maybe this is going to be revealed that it does, but so far, this pain doesn't have like a constant lingering effect like a real wound would. It's just the moment he sees the pain, he'll embrace it, experience it, be like, oh, that was awful, and he'll be back into the fight normally. So all that damage Hades did to himself may have just freed himself up for death even quicker. However, maybe Hades will win. I really don't want Hades to win, though. Once again, unless we open up next chapter with another 81-page slamma-jamma. Because notably, I do think the reason we got two double chapters that were very short this week or this month, like a 22-pager and a 20-pager total, really it's a 19-pager and a 21-pager. Like, I think it's because the mangaka snapped last chapter and went with the whole 79 for a single chapter. So who knows? Maybe we're getting another thick, girthy, juicy backstory that'll take all the backstories and blow them out of the water. But I don't know, still kind of preying on Hades' downfall, as cool as he is right now. And I'm admittedly very excited to see what dimension can the fight take on from this point. Because unless Hades is just going to do the Poseidon thing where he gets stronger and faster, I don't really see the point to all this. Because it kind of just ended up damaging himself for very little reward. However, those are my thoughts. Please tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'd probably give the chapter probably a 10 out of 10, just for that one shot of Chung Yu. But thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. You can support me for as low as $1 a month. Any support would be appreciated. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.